Welcome to a very special edition of Grandpa Playing Games. In this video, we'll walk you through a tutorial on how to use DVReplay, the new cinematic replay tool for Derail Valley. DVReplay is a new mod for Derail Valley versions B99.4 and above, and it also requires Unity Mod Manager or UMM. Both of these can be downloaded free of charge from Nexus Mods, and we'll provide links in the description below. DVReplay can record the movement of your train as well as any carriages that it is coupled with or has come into contact with. The replay is cinematic, meaning that the trains that you see during the replay cannot be driven. They're a visual representation of the train that you've already been driving. At this time, the replay is a silent movie with only a few sounds being recorded. We hope to improve that over a period of time. Apart from the motion of the train, DVReplay will also attempt to capture the headlight and taillight state of the locomotives, as well as any diesel exhaust fumes, smoke, or steam. A simplified connecting rod animation is also provided for the S060 and DM3 locomotives, with support for the S282 coming in a future version. DVReplay has two modes, the recording mode and of course the playback mode. Let's have a look at the recording mode. DVReplay will start recording automatically from the moment that you enter the cab of a locomotive, and it will continue to record up to the last 5 minutes of that locomotive's movement, as well as the movements of any carriages or locos that it comes in contact with or is coupled to, until either you enter the cab of a different locomotive or exit the DV session. Now we can exit or re-enter the cab of this loco as often as we like without interrupting the recording, allowing us to conduct all of our regular gameplay types of features such as coupling and uncoupling carriages, picking up new jobs and so on, without impacting our replay capability. If, however, we jump into the cab of a different locomotive, you'll see this message. This indicates that the previous recording has been dropped and a new recording based upon this loco's activities has commenced. So just remember, the replay recording will be based upon the locomotive that you last entered and any carriages or locos that it comes in contact with. Let's have a look at the replay mode now. So before we trigger the replay, we need to jump out of the cab of the loco. If you try to invoke a replay whilst you're still in the cab, or in F2 view or even F3 view, you will see a message like this. You can dismiss this message by pressing the OK button or wait a few seconds and it will disappear. Then jump out of the cab by selecting your Derail Valley action key, the default key for that being the F key on your keyboard. Once you are safely on the ground, you can activate the replay by pressing its hotkey. By default, the DVReplay hotkey is the F8 key, although that can be configured in the mod settings as we'll see later. Recording mode pauses whilst we're in replay mode. Once you press the hotkey, a replay panel will appear. Now, depending on the length of the replay and the number of cars that it's tracking, it can take several seconds for the replay to be prepared. But during that time, you may find that your screen is frozen. Don't worry, this is normal. When the replay is ready, your screen will become responsive again and the replay controls will become active. These consist of play buttons to replay backwards, forwards, and a pause button. There's also playback speed buttons ranging from half speed all the way through to 4x speed, and below that is a scrubber bar which shows the current position of the playhead within the replay timeline. Whilst the replay is paused, you can move the scrubber bar anywhere along the timeline to quickly position your train at its desired starting point for the replay. Once you press play, either forwards or backwards, the scrubber bar will no longer be selectable, but it will show you the progress of your playback. Once you pause the replay, the scrubber becomes selectable again. At any time during the replay, you can hide or show the replay panel by pressing the hotkey. This will allow you to capture video recordings or screenshots without the replay panel getting in the way. And to exit the replay, simply press the exit button. Once you do, your original live train will reappear and you can now proceed along your journey. Recording resumes immediately the replay mode is exited, and this allows you to conduct multiple replays without impacting the available recording time. You don't need to stop your train to enter replay either. You can jump out of a moving cab and press the DVReplay hotkey to bring up the replay panel. The train will be frozen at the moment that you press the hotkey to bring up the panel. Once you exit the replay, the train will resume its movement, so be ready to quickly jump back into the cab to resume control, or else face an exciting chase to try to board a runaway train. One thing to note is that DVReplay will reduce the throttle setting of the locomotive to 0 prior to entering a replay, which prevents there being physics issues when the live train is later restored. So once back in the cab, you can just manually readjust the throttle once more to its desired setting. And that just about covers the basic use of DVReplay in Derail Valley. If you'd however like to learn more about how to get the most out of DVReplay and perhaps some of the limitations of DVReplay, please stay tuned. Hi guys, if you're enjoying using DVReplay and would like to help support the channel and also further development of the cinematic replay tool, I've put a BuyMeACoffee link up on the screen right now. Your donation would certainly help to support our further development of this project. Not many people know that Grandpa is a retiree living in the Philippines, and certainly every donation would definitely help support me and my family too, and would be much appreciated. Thank you. And now back to the tutorial. Occasionally, when you attempt to enter a replay, you will see a message like this. DVReplay detects when there's no strain on the coupling chains and assumes that the train has not moved yet, although there can be other reasons why there's no strain on the chains, such as the train breaking apart in a crash. Initiating a replay by answering yes to this question can mean that one or more of the couplings on your train may become unattached when the live train is restored after replay has been exited. To avoid this, move your train forward or have it slowly underway when you trigger the replay mode. If you do not see the coupler's message appear when you press the replay hotkey, then the couplings will be restored correctly when replay has been exited. Alternatively, should you wish to proceed, then upon exiting the replay, it is best to go back and check all of the couplings of your train and reattach any chains that may have dropped off the coupling hooks. And don't forget to tension them as well. So you may be asking yourself, but Grandpa, all this time I'm going to be spending in replays, it's going to impact my ability of delivering my goods on time and being paid. Well, DVReplay has a solution for that as well, and it's very simple. Whilst you're in replay mode, time stops. Here we have a job that we picked up a couple of minutes ago. We waited a couple of minutes for some time to elapse, and we put it back in the validator to show that 2 minutes had passed. Now we move to the wall clock, and we observe it's still ticking along nicely. And once we instigate the replay mode, however, we find that the wall clock stops. But also, the job clock stops. Now, how do we know that? We waited for 5 or 10 minutes and then exited the replay. At that point in time, we can see the wall clock start again, and we put the job back into the order validator, and we can see that no time has passed while we're in the replay. It's not a matter of cheating, not going to be able to deliver make your deliveries any faster than you would have otherwise, but it's simply so that you're able to enjoy the replays without any time constraints. You can adjust various DVReplay settings in-game or when you first launch DVReplay by bringing up the Unity Mod Manager screen. The default for that is Control F10, and you can press the settings icon that is next to DVReplay. From this screen, you will be able to adjust the hotkey used to trigger a DVReplay. By default, as mentioned before, this is the F8 key, but you can change it to any key that you want, along with optionally any or all of the Alt, Control or Shift modifiers. Additionally, you can change the appearance of the DVReplay panel with color choices of black, blue or brown, and opacity levels ranging from 0, which is a solid background, to 100, which is a transparent background. And finally, below that, there is the ability of turning on or off some experimental features in DVReplay, such as the lights feature. Well, I'm sure that I've probably forgotten a feature or two, but I think that's going to be sufficient for today's tutorial. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments section, and I'll answer them as quickly as I possibly can. We will be continuing to develop DVReplay and hopefully introducing new features as time goes by, so please also do consider putting a like to this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can be kept up to date on all the latest features and our new content as it comes out. In the meantime, I do hope that you enjoy using DVReplay and that it enhances your Derail Valley experience. Until next time, we look forward to seeing you on Grandpa Playing Games.